Good afternoon guys and welcome back to Dave's wedge fitting. The man is smiling again because we're moving on from the 48 guys. So last week we saw that Dave tried a 48 and a 50, two different grinds, and the 48 came out the winner and fit in with his set the best. Today we're talking about a 52 or a 54 potentially. Again guys, when we're talking about wedges, ideally the maximum we would like to see is a 60 degree gap in your bounce setup. Dave nearly chipped in there. Okay, so Dave's starting with the 52 degree. We've got the S grind, and we've got the S grind in both here. So it's not the standard grind as you would think, or the sand grind. It is the most versatile.
I went for both of them.
Yeah, it is the most versatile of the grinds. You can play it square, you can open it up. Comes with 10 degrees of bounce. So we're going to see here, and we've seen inside with the numbers, which one fits the gaps a little bit better. So again, nice and easy, Dave. Yeah. Foot with there. S grind, not too much bounce. Obviously, the other options, you can get a 52 in a W grind, which again is the wide sole. We saw that last week. Again, not one that would suit Dave. That's for somebody with a more steeper angle of attack. We know Dave's nice and shallow. He just clips the grass, doesn't take divots.
Greenkeeper loves me though.
Greenkeeper does love Dave, but that's what you need to think about. So when you're going, do you take big divots? Do you need a wider sole? But there might be some other variants that come into factors when you get down and hit some shots. So Dave played me one a little bit higher to this left flag now. So let's see, yep, to that one there. So let's see, obviously, if you can open it up, can you play a different shot? Let's see. Right, so you see there,
Certainly can.
Versatility. Oh, it's a lip out.
Licked it.
Again, versatility there. That is a 52 degree. You see Dave open that up nicely there, and that popped up, and he was able to play a different shot with that. Shot maker. It's not the shot maker grind though.
Is that what the S stands?
No, I believe no. Well, another thing that the S grind could mean. So nice and versatile for there, Dave. He's been able to play a bump and run to the far flag. He's then been able to open it up and hit it to this one. So we're going to get into the rough now, and we're going to test obviously just how it would react going through there. We're then going to throw in another grind, so I'm going to get the W grind and see if Dave can feel the difference. Does it move through the grass a little bit slower? Does it go through faster? Which one's easier out of that? Because you've got to take into account all the different lies you're going to have. This is Callaway's most versatile. I will put it on screen now. This is the most versatile wedge. It does come in multiple options, but you'll also see these ones are also good to test. And for you to get an idea of what different things you would expect in the rough. You might be in thicker rough in different parts of the world, so you might need a different bounce for that. If it's in Bermuda, if you sat down, you might need something a little bit thicker soled. You might need something with less bounce. If you're playing Lynx golf, for example, and it's a firmer under there, you might need less bounce and a totally different grind to get the results you want. So let's jump into the rough now. We're going to play two similar shots, so a little bit one that's going to release and then a higher one. We haven't gone to the 54 yet, but we will test both of those in here because we know with Dave he can play those shots. But it all comes down, guys, to the TrackMan numbers inside and how the gapping fits in. We do know, obviously, with the TrackMan numbers, these are clubs that Dave's not going to hit full shots with. Highly unlikely he's going to hit a full 52. It's going to be more controlled 48 potentially. He's not going to hit a full 54 again. It's more chipping and pitching. So the numbers have to suit. If they're on that one occasion, you do need to hit a full one. Mainly when you're getting fitted for these kinds of wedges around the green, we need to be down here. We need to be playing out of the rough, playing out of bunkers, playing off a tight lie and seeing which is the most consistent. In the rough now, Dave, you can see it's very sat down. There's a lot of stuff in between the ball. Dave's going to go 52 first with the S grind, see how that gets through the grass, and then we're going to switch to a W grind. Right. Not your best shot. What did it do there? Did it snag a little bit?
It did.
Okay, let's now switch. So this is a 54, so it might come out a little bit higher, but this is the W grind. So Dave knows he wasn't a fan of this, but let's see how this interacts with the turf, and we'll see which one Dave feels more comfortable with. Okay, so wider sole, did that get through it a little bit easier?
Got through it a lot easier.
Yeah, so a wider sole there, less interaction, it's glided through the turf there, it felt easier, but let's put it to a test again. We're going to get two similar lies and we're going to go for the further flag now. So let's lead off with the 52 again. Well, actually no, let's keep with the 54 and let's go to that further flag. Well, we've got to get a true test here of how it's going to react. So let's see if it was Dave, or was it the actual grind that helped him. Yeah, we're going to go to the second flag. So we've got around about 25 yards here, so let's see how it gets through the turf. Okay.
Not great.
Twisted it almost.
The toe seemed to snag and the heel sort of turned round a little bit.
Okay, right, let's go, let's switch there. So again, W grind, guys, it's the wider sole there. It's for having it more square, but we know on shorter shots it might get through, but on the longer shots it could potentially snag. So let's see with the S grind. Same snag. So Dave's not happy, he's throwing it on the floor in the wet. So see there, neither of those are any different, and this is where when you're getting a fitting, that comes down simply to Dave's technique. Getting through there, the shots weren't fantastic, so the grind and the bounce there on this occasion didn't make any difference. Again, the wider sole, would it suit this line? Potentially for the first one. It seemed to go through a little bit easy. It was sat up, although it was down in the grass, there was plenty of grass underneath. If that was sat really far down, again, the amount of bounce in the wide sole would probably make you hit the middle of the ball and it just dribble out. So the S grind could be better if you're playing in, let's say, Bermuda grass. If it's really sat down, we want something with a little bit less bounce where we can be a little bit more up to down on that occasion. And that's why the S grind is so good for Dave, because he knows obviously he can get a little bit of versatility, can play different shots. So guys, let's talk about the numbers that we did inside. So with the 52, we saw we got the perfect gap in. We got around about an 80-yard carry. We had some vary between 78 and 84. Yeah. So one was a little bit thin. We averaged out at 80. So 80 yards, but then it was going to 90 yards total. So the carry was 80. We knew then it was going to run out of about 10 yards for Dave. Not too much spin, not obviously overly spinning. No. So we knew exactly 15 gap. It's not a shot that Dave said he was going to play a lot, but it's good to know that if you needed that on one occasion, you can hit it that distance. More than likely, Dave will drop down to his 48, hit a 3/4 shot, get a lower fly, and actually more spin. Famous last words. So the 54, that was going only around about 70, well, under 75 yards on average. So the gapping again was too big. I will pick that up and clean it shortly. This is a brand new clean bag as well. So the 54 was going a little bit too short. So the gap in there was around about 20 to 25 yards. So it would be too big for Dave again. So we know now, guys, we're sticking with the S grind because that's the one that's most versatile. Although Dave didn't cover himself in glory there in the rough, we know that that's the grind that he does prefer. We saw some great shots from tighter lies. We're going to hope Dave's more of those lies. We know Dave is very shallow, so it's going to be a tough lie for Dave from here. Technique-wise, would need to be a little bit steeper, but that's a classic fitting. It doesn't always going to hit great shots just because we give you a wedge. The technique still has to be there. But we know now we've got a 48 degree S grind, 10 degrees of bounce. We've got a 52 degree, 10 degrees of bounce, S grind. So nice and uniform. Dave knows what he's looking down at. He knows what he can do with that golf club. We then are going to look at next week. Does Dave want to go 56 or do we want to jump to a 58 and have that as Dave's max club, the one he uses around the greens, the one he uses in the bunker? Because we can see with Dave's 52, he was able to play, not from the rough, he was able to play different shots, able to play that low running one from the nice lie, and then able to play a bit of a higher one if he opens that club face up. So potentially...
No chance at 60 then, no?
Well, there's an outside chance at a 60, Dave.
Very unlikely though, isn't it?
It's highly unlikely, but we can see the good option for Dave. He can use it around the green, can play for more shots than he thinks. It's not just for fuller shots, it is around the green. He can be very versatile with it. So guys, hopefully you've enjoyed that. Hopefully you understand, obviously, we've got different grinds, different bouncers, but why we're going for Dave is because he's shallow. So make sure you get for a fitting, guys. Make sure you take all this into account and make sure you get down in and around the green because that's where you're going to use these clubs the most. So guys, thank you very much for watching and we'll see you again next week.
See you soon.